us too.
It'll be nice, though, because we will get cooled off behind all of this weather in the Northeast. And due to extreme temperatures, New Jersey Transit is currently experiencing heat-related rail equipment issues affecting the air conditioning units and other electronic equipments. So you could experience delays, or you could just be super sweaty. So you might want to bring an extra shirt to change into if you are headed to the destination that you need to be looking fit. All right, let's have a look at our temperatures, because since June 1st, we're talking number 1 or 2 ranked temperatures. It has been hot here, very, very hot. And we are going to get another day of that. As we were mentioning, from Maine to Virginia, our highs are going to be in the 90s. We have the excessive heat warning, the heat advisory. Those 90s are going to get washed down into the 80s. I mean, it's going to be such a relief because, listen, 85 and sunny, it's still warm, right? We do have plenty of moisture also coming up here. Richmond, Washington, New York, Boston. This front's going to come through and wipe away all of this and give us some of this. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be sliding eastbound for us. And not only will the highs be a lot cooler, the air mass is going to change. So it's going to be a lot drier, and that will make a huge difference. Notice it's really kind of that I-95 corridor where we're hanging on to the extreme heat still. There is your drier air that comes in. It's really, as we head into Friday, you're really going to be feeling that change in air mass, especially along the I-95 corridor. But Buffalo, we are going to get it much sooner as we're back closer towards the Great Lakes. Watch this as we go through the day today. It's still pretty humid in the Northeast. The front comes through. The boundary still kind of lingers here just off the East Coast. But Thursday, you really notice the change here. And then as we head into our Friday, you'll notice it here along the East Coast. And there are the numbers to prove it. Paul, we're down into the 80s.
Yeah, that Atlanta weather.
A little more time here in July, but this is when we're supposed to be kind of trending down, Paul, with our tornado warnings.
We are definitely going to see more tornado warnings. I mean, we're halfway through. We should 96 on average. Halfway through, though, it should be like 40, 50. Yeah. And we're well over 100.
We're well over 100.
This has been a very active month here. And typically we'll see it across South Texas, but also up where the jet stream is, up towards the Canadian border in the U.S.
That's where we typically see the most in Iowa, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and Minnesota. But where we typically have, look at this, Paul, 3, 1, 2, essentially here along the East Coast is where we've seen a lot more.
Yeah, one day really sticks out. We're talking about 55% of the month so far above average in terms of severe reports. But the 8th, that's when we had landfall of Hurricane Beryl. Yeah. You know, this record-setting hurricane also doing a record-setting in terms of severe reports here. Yeah,
203 tornado warnings. In fact, in Shreveport here, 67 warnings issued, the most in a single day by any National Weather Service office for 2024.
Yeah, I'm talking not, just like Norman during May or April,
it's wild.
Talking July here. And the same here across parts of New York and New England here. Multiple record-setting amounts of tornado warnings and even some damage here because of Beryl.
There was mainly EF1s, and I know you might be like, oh, it's just an EF1. Oh, that does plenty of damage and significant damage, so don't just pass that off, but it wasn't all tornadoes that did the damage.
Our look like a derecho, not quite named derecho event, wind event last 48 hours here across the Midwest and Plains. That did, tornado-like damage with winds 100, 105 miles per hour.
Yeah, and in fact, there was 19 total here in the Chicagoland area, the most on record. And we're talking about those tornadoes. Jordan?
All right, well, it is time to well, about 20,000 cyclists are gearing up for an epic adventure for the ages. I'm talking over 400 miles of bike riding, 7 days of travel, cyclists joining in from every single state in America.
In just a few days, Register's annual Great Bicycle Ride across Iowa will kick off. But it means just a little bit more this year for the community of Greenfield, which is still dealing with the aftermath of that deadly EF4 tornado. We want to bring in 2 organizers of the event, Gina Wallace and Matt Phippen, who is joining us. Gina, we're going to start with you. How challenging has it been planning and putting together this event less than 2 months after the tornado?
There's been some challenges.
The weather should cooperate, by the way. It'll be a lot cooler than it's been as of late and hopefully less stormy. Matt Phippen and Gina Wallace, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck next week.
We appreciate you guys' times. All right, Paul, over to you.
All right, time now for our dog.
I mean, listen, 90s to 80s is a big deal, and it's definitely cooler. I don't want to make this dramatic, like we're going to get cold. Here in Atlanta, it's 76, and it is hot and humid. We are going to stay hot and humid through the day today. We're going to top out around 90 degrees. And notice the showers come in today, and they last really through the weekend. But look at our highs down into the 80s. So, yes, it is cooler, but it's not exactly cold. But I think everyone's happy to get a little break from that 90-degree heat that we've been seeing just for a minute here. Plenty of moisture is going to get pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico and ram into a boundary. That's a lifting mechanism. Everything comes into this boundary, lifts up, and then rains out for us. And we will see also a little bit of energy in the atmosphere to help squeeze out some of that moisture. The great news is falling over severe to extreme drought conditions here in the southeast. The rain's going right over that. So we will see improving conditions, hopefully, with the drought. We'll get a drought monitor out tomorrow, but it stops taking data in on Tuesdays, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what time. So Tuesday at 9 a.m. So we'll see how this factors into next